All right, hi everyone. In this section, we're going to focus on something called properties, also known as props. So this is really important because props allows us to make our components more customizable or just customizable at all. Right now, they're cookie cutter every time. We can make them configurable and, most importantly, reusable. So right now, a component like our hello component returns the same thing every time. Yes, we did see how to use a random number to sort of spice things up a little bit and make the content unpredictable, but the components are identical. We're not specifying any new information. We're not passing data into our hello component. It exists on its own in its own world. We're going to change that. So it would be nice, as a simple example, if we could configure our hello component to have a greeting that, said hi to somebody from somebody else. So we need to be able to specify when we make a hello component, this should say, hi Ringo from Paul, something like that. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to make two properties, to and from. And we're still starting simple, but this is something we'll do in every single project, every exercise. This is how we pass data from one component to another, from a parent to a child. So back in my text editor, I have a new folder. We have our index.html with a hello.js file and an index.js. Right now, the index.js is empty, hello.js is empty too. So let's start by defining our hello component. I'm just going to copy and paste it over. There we go. So this is nothing new. Class hello extends react.component. Render simply returns a paragraph that says, hi everyone. Okay, now in our app, which we also haven't defined, which we can do very quickly, let's have it return in the render a single hello component to start. Or let's make it two, why not? But if we want to make it two, we're going to need to wrap it in something like a div. So we'll do just that. Okay, so it returns a div with two hello components. They're going to be identical. Then at the very bottom, we need to do our react dom.render. This is all review. And we're going to render our app component. And then we need to tell it where, document.getElementById, and it still should be root. I haven't changed anything. I've just been copying and pasting this file. So root, great, just fire it up, make sure it works. This is all review. Open with live server, and there we go. We have two hello components. So now let's talk about props. The good news, it's really, really easy to pass data in. All we have to do is go to wherever we're actually creating or calling upon a component. And inside that component, we're going to pass data just like if we were specifying a source attribute on an image. Just like we say source is equal to this on our script tag, or ID is equal to root. Those are all attributes. It's the exact same syntax, except we're doing it inside of our JSX, inside of a React component. So I'm going to pass into my hello a value for 2. So let's say this one is to Ringo, and then I'm going to add a space and say from, and this time it will be from, let's say Paul, like I said earlier. This time to will be share, and from will be Sunny. Perfect. So we are now passing data as properties, props, to the hello components. What we have to do is actually use it instead of that component. Right now we don't see anything different, but that data has been passed through. So to prove it, let's go to our hello component, and just at the top of render, let's just say console.log this.props, just like that. So it's short for properties. It's kind of annoying to type properties all over the place. So it's props. And if we open up the console here, we see that we have this object. Well, there's two of them, one for each hello component. This object is the props object. It contains the properties that have been passed through. So in the first one, from is set to Paul, to is set to Ringo. The second one, from is set to Sunny, to is set to share. So we see that we have access to it, this.props. So if I want one part of it, for example, this.props.to, I could console.log that, and we get Ringo and share. But that's not what we want to do. We don't want to print it out. We want to display it. So if you'd like, take a moment, you can pause, and configure this inside the paragraph to return hi Ringo from Paul, or replace it with to and from using props. Okay, so let's do that now. So we're gonna just delete that line and replace this with hi, and then add in those braces to actually embed JavaScript, this.props.to. So that gives us the first part. So now we have hi Ringo, hi share. Then we can come back in here and do from this dot props dot from, just like that. And now we have a configurable component. Very simple, the data we're passing in, just 2 strings. And we'll talk more about what types of data we can pass in and if there's any rules around that in just a little bit. Not this video, but in this section. But this is just a start, okay? So we pass in data, just like we have here. To equals something, from equals something. We want a third prop, message, greeting, we could do that. We traditionally will use double quotes for this. And inside of our component, we have access to this dot props. Sometimes what you will see looks like this, const, let's say props equals this dot props, so that we can shorten this slightly. It's not really a big change. Some people like to do this, and nothing changes over here. It's identical, but now our markup is slightly shorter.